Whoa, hey, I'm here. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lucas stream. If it's your first time here, double welcome to you, and also, I love you. We're still waiting on Mina. I'm gonna DM her. Hold on. I asked if she was ready for stream earlier, and she said yes, but might be running late. Who knows? How are y'all doing today? Y'all excited for more of Phoenix? More Phoenix? More Phoenix Wright? Why is Steam not open? Hey, Steam? What up, Steam? Oh, shut up. Alright. Get the game booted up. We might be waiting a little bit. Oh! The Mina is here.
Hello?
I was just saying we might have to wait a bit, and then you immediately showed up.
Oh, yes, sorry. My headphones had a few problems and I need to iron out before jumping online.
Is cool. We're good. We're patient. I need to show you the game. Hopefully, we are going to have no bitrate issues like we did yesterday. That was a bummer.
Fingers crossed.
Crossed. No drop frames yet, so that's exciting. I get the game on screen. Do I have it in my... Yes, I do. Okay, good.
I really love the medley they used for the title screen of this compilation.
Title screen is very good. I like it a lot. Oh,
Yeah.
God. Okay. Alright. This is, I'm excited. This is a good case.
It is. I actually quite love this case. Obviously, you know, everyone criticizes it for being a bit too long, and maybe it is a bit too long, but I do love the central mystery. It's very good.
It does already feel very long, but the mystery is, like, very good, and I'm super down for it so far. Mr. Wright, so... what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? Oh my god, are they actually giving us a recap? They really want you to do this not in one big session, huh?
Yeah, I guess it was, you know, like a handheld game originally, which I think a lot of people, especially in Japan, would play on like commutes or whatever.
Yeah. The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. Thanks for the raid, Val. What's this and the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Well, that's what we're going to find out, or try to at least. Alright, let's do it. Glad she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go. Science awaits us. Is the implication of the thick-rimmed glasses that she's smart?
Yes. But also, you'll see, they're part of a mechanic.
Oh. Are they X-ray specs?
Sadly, no, but they are almost as cool.
Okay. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? It's probably important. Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in their evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. Yeah, that's a recap. Whatever. My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never. Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not it at all. It's just, what the we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is luminal testing fluid. Oh, science.
Science rules.
Science rules. Fuck yeah, science. Luminal? Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. Me? Why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet. We're testing bloodstains with this stuff, not drinking it. Here, look, I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You had an extra pair of those things? Oh, that is... Whoa. Fuck.
Yeah.
Hard on the eyes. To test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Oh my god, this is a DS as fuck mechanic.
Yep. And just to make advantage of the touchscreen.
This is... Oh, I hate looking at this. This sucks to look at.
You can hit A.
Oh.
Yeah, to examine it.
I can see her eyes shining behind those glasses. So is this a bloodstain? Also, I was gonna mention this. What the fuck is up with characters like knowing Phoenix's internal monologues? Is he just that predictable?
It's a combination of that, and I think it's implied that some of the stuff that is in the blue font is just him whispering to himself.
Oh, just like muttering to himself?
Yeah.
It's so... Ugh. Emma, you're shaking. It's just, this is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Okay, well, we definitely know that this is a blood stain, but doesn't something strike you as odd, scientifically speaking, of course? Shouldn't there be more? What's odd about this, scientifically? The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there'd have to have been more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright? I'm gonna mark up the floor plans when we find a bloodstain, okay? Oh, okay. See, I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah, and this stuff's pretty handy too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Okay. Aw, that's really cute. Looking very proud. You can't be sure that the police will reveal all of their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. Yeah, they sure do that, don't they? That's saying something, huh?
Like I said, this case is a lot of cop commentary.
It feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? Guess I should give this a spray on anything suspicious.
So you can use this. You can use this spray on any screen you visit. So if you want to just like go places that you think, you know, even if they don't seem suspicious, just to see if you can find Easter eggs or like jokes or whatever.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I think this is you.
Oh, it is. I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Starr, you only trust your own eyes, Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. Ew. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering. I'm almost tempted to... That would be a weird joke to make in this kind of game, but it'd be interesting to use it on her and be like, oh, I see. How do I use it, though? But it's like, presents?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, no. No. Okay. I wonder if it's like this?
I honestly, like, don't remember that much. I just remember that there's two places in particular that I very clearly remember having very good jokes hidden there if you use Luminal.
Huh. It'd be nice if I could figure out how to use it. You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Starr, but... No, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there, but I was afraid that it wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry, you lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. Uh-oh. Also, I realized who she reminds me of when she does the hair flip.
Who's
she reminds me of fucking Nep.
Oh. That's
Little
fine.
girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. Ah. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? Okay. So, you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Starr? Yes, it was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it up. Coughed it up? They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I dragged the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect. And before long, they called me the Cough-Up Queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go? Fired? Yeah. It's all because of that case, the SL9 incident. Oh, this is familiar. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... Wait. Can I present her that? What do you think about this? The SL9 incident. It's written on that knife. And on that note, Goodman. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know. Really? That knife was evidence from that case. The murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected. SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident?
Anytime anyone in this series says, like, oh, that case is still unresolved, my brain just does, like, the Bayonetta, like, the shadow remains cast.
How can we get her to talk more about it?
Just present, you can just present stuff to her.
But Phoenix said, could you tell us more about it? And then it's not a dialogue option, and...
You might have to exhaust her current dialogue options first.
What I'm pretty sure we did. Okay. Well, I guess she couldn't tell us more about it.
Perhaps.
Can we go elsewhere and maybe get something else to show her? Did I just miss something?
I don't think so, no. But maybe...
Okay.
I guess you could ask her about stuff like the ID and the photo that she took.
Yeah, I guess I could ask her about everything that we have.
Yeah.
Well, this place is as classy today as it was yesterday. And I'm sure it'll be just as classy tomorrow, Emma. Incidentally, Edgeworth's not here. I'm sure he's off doing important investigations. I hope that's what he's doing. I guess we'll have to come back. Okay, can I use the thing in here? Oh!
There you go.
It, didn't have a Y prompt there, actually. I just had to press it and expect it to work.
Interesting.
Which is silly. Alright, there's nothing in here.
Try closer, like, to you on the floor. Try on his desk.
Mashing it super hard. I wish I could just hold it. It'd be cool to just hold it, but I guess it's like a one of those spray bottles that doesn't do that. Alright.
That's so weird. I could have sworn there was an Easter egg for it in here. Maybe you have to come back later or something.
Oh no, it did have a prompt. How did I not see that? Yeah, Zarboro, that shade of red is not the best. Hey, what's up with this? If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room. No, you couldn't have. But, oh, no, she means, like, she could have taken the photo from there, but she decided to take it from elsewhere. But even I get flustered sometimes. So you went straight to the scene of the crime? I rushed toward the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. That's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime? Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. The whole of my testimony, as it were. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Starr. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl. I've had my testimony disregarded before. And I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time? That? Very vague. Very vague. Hey. I had one of those up until 2 years ago. Back when you were the cough-up queen, right? We found this ID card here in this parking lot. Well, there's no mistaking that. It's definitely Goodman's. But it's the same ID as the man who was killed at the police department. That's impossible. I wish I could be so sure. Good.
Gotta recharge.
Gotta recharge. Could you take? Oh, this is the.
Maybe now.
This is the nothing dialogue. Yeah, maybe she'll talk about it. Oh. Yep. Cool. That incident really opened up my eyes to the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable to who? 2 years ago, it was the biggest case I'd ever handled. Oh, there's Marshall there.
Mm-hmm.
The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence. So, they didn't solve it?
I like how Marshall and Angel have slightly different outfits here.
Yeah, Angel's outfit here is very good, actually. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to them. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was they never did find decisive evidence. Not a shred. What? But the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence, of a sort, made up evidence. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those? Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be... Exactly. Detective Jake Marshall. Oops, I mean, Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined, and then it was over, and he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9? There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Wait, those lunches you sell... There's only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends, boyfriends that can help me investigate. Miss Starr's old boyfriends. How many does she have, anyway? That's not the problem here, Phoenix. Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence.
The phrase...
There has to be a connection.
The phrase, cop polycool is maybe the most cursed thing.
Yeah, that is incredibly not a comfy phrase. So, Rookie, what? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes. Ooh. Then you should try this. Then you should take this. A Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. Miss Starr? Officer Marshall, is he your, are you going out? Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too, back then. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. But now he's so cold. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. I see. Thank you. Alright.
Pretty
Okay,
suspicion.
so... Very suspicious. Gonna... Oh! Hello! This blood must be from when Lana... No, my sister isn't a murderer. But she did call you, didn't she? At the time of the crime? And her right hand is bandaged. Hey, just whose side are you on? This has nothing to do with taking sides. So, this means that Lana's hand had blood on it. This just keeps getting worse. No, but that's from her injury. Right? That's probably gonna be it, I feel. Yeah, okay. Ugh. I wonder... Anything here? Oh, that might bring back traumatic memories, actually. God, this sucks to look at. Why did they do this? No, okay. Ugh. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. I suppose it makes sense. A detective did get killed here after all. So, the evidence room, the scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is. She's like a kid at an amusement park. Ooh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look. We've already taken a look at a crime scene, Emma. Oh, what's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric. Phoenix, who do you think works here? According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room. So beyond that door is the evidence room, the scene of the crime? It sure seems that way. Oh, what's wrong? It's those cacti. They're so prickly, so imposing. It's hard to think straight. If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is, if there is a guard station, where is the guard? I have a feeling I know who he is already. Do you think? A distinct lack of Mina characters so far. Anything? Anything? No. Why is there a trap? Why is there a trap at the door?
Try the little desk cactus right on the top.
Little desk cactus?
Try it with a
God.
luminal.
Nothing.
That's so weird. That's one I distinctly remember there being an Easter egg for. Did they remove those? That sucks if so.
Maybe they show up later?
Maybe.
Look on the floor, a lasso. Looks like it's set up to trap something. A trap here? Wait, I know. Maybe someone was trying to catch a wild bull in here, but the lasso missed. You sure have an active imagination.
All these freaking bottles of alcohol on the job. They just don't care.
Yeah. He just does not give a fuck.
Or it's all
What a
this
tacky hat.
fancy juice and he's a weird, like, cosplayer.
Yeah, that's all like grape juice, orange juice, apple juice up in the top left, looks like.
Some pineapple juice.
Yeah. Yipes, these sure are prickly. They must be the real deal. I would think just one big one would be sufficient. These cacti are a lot like my sister, actually. How so? Encased in a cold, rigid shell with spines pointing in every direction. Just like her. I'm not so sure I see the resemblance. It's more an attitude thing than a physical similarity. Alright. There's a security guard uniform hanging here. No, there isn't. There is not. That is not what that is.
That's a poncho.
It looks more like a costume than a uniform, honestly. A leather jacket, leather pants, a leather... What was that called again? A punchy, a paunchy, a pinchy? I know, a poochie. Wait, maybe that wasn't it. It's a poncho, but I think I'll keep that information to myself for the time being. Phoenix is rude.
He likes feeling intellectually superior to a 15-year-old girl.
It looks like there's a video feed from the evidence room here. There's a light blinking below the monitor. It says recording. I bet we could use this computer to check on who went in and out of here. Oh. That seems helpful. I wonder if the game will actually let me do it.
In time.
The swinging door makes the place look like some kind of saloon. But look, it's nailed shut. You can't get in that way. Of course not. If you went in through here, the cactus would fall over. Ouch. I'd say to be more like a yarg myself. What? Why do they make that sound like a pirate?
I was just gonna say
That's
that's more pirate
that's
than
just the
cowboy.
sound that came out of me, I think. The evidence room is beyond that door. Let's just walk in. It won't open. You thought it'd open? Oh, I wonder what we could use to open that door. I think we need someone's permission to go in there first. I mean, I don't... This game doesn't really have a way to use item on thing, huh?
Not really.
Because we do have that, which would probably work. What? So, wait. There's nobody here.
Try the Luminal one more time because I looked it up and right now because I thought I was gaslighting myself. I looked it up and there should be an Easter egg here still. Try on top of the tall cactus.
Oh,
There we
there's
go.
something. What is that exactly? Wow, we got a reaction. There's clearly blood around the spines here. This room's pretty messy. Someone must have tripped over something and planted their hand right on these spines. I think that might be more painful than being murdered. Oh, Jake, you goober.
He always wears
Okay.
the hat 'cause he's got a gaping wound on his head.
There's nothing here. Oh. Huh? Wasn't that... One steak lunch, please. Oh, it's you. Detective Gumshoe. Now's no time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. Oh, we have one of those, but... Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale. Oh. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Oh, I feel so bad. Now's no time for despair. We've caught our criminal. Now we just need evidence. The criminal? You mean... You heard about the stabbing in the police department evidence room, right, pal? Yeah... Who's the perpetrator of that, then? It's the biggest scandal to hit the nation in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy. But, Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch pronto. Standing around here talking isn't going to fill my belly. Oh, bye. Wait, don't leave. If you want to know more, head on down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figured he's down there having a good cry. Later. He ran off to the evidence room. Well, this investigation is off to a running start. Okay. Let's, what? Why would I be able to come here? Wow, everyone looks deadly serious here. Well, there was a vicious murder of a detective down at the police department. Yes, but the same detective was also killed at the same time in the prosecutor's lot. Ugh. It makes my head hurt. Well, first things first, let's go check out the police department crime scene. Yes, you sound dead set on investigating. But don't mess up or we could wind up dead. Emma, what are you doing? I accidentally skipped that.
We gotta go to the detention center.
Oh, we go to the detention center from here? Still, I do feel better about things. A little. I mean, they called the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. Best to not go too far down that road right now. Things will just get confusing. What the fuck? What was that? Who's this?
It's you.
Who is it? You
see.
know what? What? Hi. Greetings, sir. Wait, I know who you are. He's the culprit? Officer Meekins, so you're a guard here at the detention center? No, sir, I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman like a little lost lamb, sir. Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report. No, sir, how should I say this? Wait, he isn't, is he? Oh, he did cut himself on the knife. That's true. You, Officer Meekins, you didn't, did you? Perpetrator Officer Meekins reporting, sir. What? What? No, this is an unexpected turn of events.
His freaking head should look like a stop sign. I can't get over this design.
He reminds me of the cop character from Tulip a lot. So that character looks like way more of like a mascot than this guy does. Sir, I'm a patrolman with General Affairs, sir. Sir! Ow. I can hear you fine, Officer Meekins. I almost feel like a nasally voice of Meekins would be good.
Yeah.
I haven't done like a nasally voice since Pain. Been a while. I had some business that day, sir. And so I went to the evidence room, sir. The guard station in front of the room was empty, sir. So normally there's a guard at the evidence room. That's right, sir. Because evidence is kept in the evidence room, sir. Now the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. But Marshall? Then, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor. That's when I saw him, sir. A suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person, sir. A suspicious person. What are you what?
He tries to bang his fist on his empty hand, but he gets it caught on his necktie.
What a dweeb.
It's so funny. I love his innovations.
What the heck is this guy doing? So what happened then? After that, sir, everything went white. I saw red. I blacked out. A lot of colors happened. And when I came to, I was here in the detention center. How long were you out? Days? Might I ask, what happened to your hand? The cactus. The cactus! Sir, there was no one to bandage me, sir. So I did what I could to wrap it up, sir. A bandage on his hand. Just like Miss Sky. Yet another similarity between this case and the one at the prosecutor's office. First things first, tell us how you hurt your hand. Let's do that first. About your hand, did that happen during the course of the crime? Well, you see, sir, don't you think you should just confess? But sir, there was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do? Sir, to tell the truth, sir, when it happened, when the detective pointed that knife at me, I just hollered, sir. And the next thing I knew, I was unconscious. The next thing you knew, you were... Huh? Then, when I opened my eyes, I was alone in the evidence room, sir. All alone. Alone because Detective Goodman had disappeared. What? Then, when I looked down, I was gushing blood from my hands, sir. Oh, the shock. Oh, the sorrow, sir. Can you imagine how I felt? The victim's body disappeared? That's some story. Huh. So he doesn't remember how his hand got injured, but I have a pretty good guess as to how it got injured, I think. I don't mean to pry, but you are the perpetrator, correct? You killed Detective Bruce Goodman in the evidence room, right? Sir, please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes, sir. If you had to label me as a perpetrator or victim, sir, then label me victim. I would, but you happen to be in detention, and alive and well at that. Yes, well, that's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim, Detective Goodman? Well, sir, if I had to label him as a stranger or a total stranger, then I'd say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So, you didn't know him? Sir, I work in a tiny department devoid of light or other creature comforts. Oh, no. I don't know any detectives. So, if he was a total stranger, why did you stab him? Sir, I had no intention of killing him, sir. None. Nor do I have any recollection of killing him, sir. At least someone around here.
The one part of the commentary I like about this is that, like, they make it clear that, like, although the police as an institution are bad, like, the lowest ranked people still get friggin' dumped on by the higher-ups here.
Yeah, that's very good. Hey, look at this. This is for you. It's a gift. Oh. That's it, sir. Last night, sir. That's the one. I was an apple, sir, in my dream, sir, and I was being peeled. On second thought, you don't have to look at the knife. He's overreacting to the knife, but I guess he's been through a lot. Oh, I guess he's like, he's afraid of knives?
Is it his dream where he's an apple?
Okay. Good. Look at this. Officer Meekins, could you take a look at this? Oh, you have no idea what it is? How do you not? Oh. Is it like a detective thing, maybe? Oh, it should be for all cops, right?
It's the precinct mascot, but I guess he just doesn't care about it right now.
Hey, look at this. Do you know about this? Oh, it's a knife. So he's not super jazzed about it. Do you know anything about SL9? No, you don't. Okay. Alright. Well, Officer Meekins, we'll see you later, I guess.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Good luck with that legal defense, idiot. Sorry, we don't defend cops.
Yeah, we sure don't. We still can't. Okay, Jake isn't here. So... Edgeworth? No.
Maybe if you present, I think.
Actually, wait. Yeah, let's try what you said. There was definitely like an Easter egg in Edgeworth's room, right?
If I remember correctly, yeah.
Let's give it another once over with the bottle.
Maybe go back to Meekins and show him the ID, because I feel like the ID is like the important piece of evidence in today's case or today's investigation, since it was what linked to.
Oh
Goodman
yeah,
to
with the
evidence
number.
room.
Yeah.
I think it was in front of the desk, if I remember correctly, like on the floor.
Oh,
there we go. I knew it wasn't crazy.
I swear I sprayed there.
Yeah, I think you did. Maybe you just needed to trigger it.
What? It looks like some blood has dripped down here. Judging by the amount, my guess it's from a nosebleed. A nosebleed, Maybe in his wrath, Mr. Edgeworth slapped someone for their incompetence. Why does Detective Gumshoe's face come to mind? Oh no! Ugh.
The mental image of Edgeworth giving it like a vicious backhand to Gumshoe for messing up is like, I shouldn't laugh, but I am. I'm laughing.
That makes me very sad. Poor Dick. Okay.
Yeah, go back to Meekins.
Present this. Do you think you could take a look at this? Hey! That's it, sir, that's it! That's it! That's what? My head was a blank until this very moment, but sir, now I remember, sir. You mean you remember what happened? Correct! That card was the cause of it all! This ID card? Exactly, sir, that's exactly it! Nothing could be more exact, sir, nothing! I'd better pry into this one a little deeper. That was a good call, Amina.
Yeah, there's usually like every day there's like one key piece of evidence that's like the mystery revolves around, so you're best off presenting that one to anyone who is willing to listen to it.
It'd probably be better if I was like more cognizant of everything that happened like in the trial, of like what recently happened in the trial, so I could remember what the exact items were that were relevant.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what it is that you do remember? Well, sir, you might say I'm a lost little patrolman, a lost little lamb, if you will. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman, who was in the evidence room. Mr. Detective Goodman. And that's why you thought he looked suspicious. Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to show me his ID card. Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far. That's right, sir. That's what I've been trying to tell you. So, you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly, he pointed a knife at me. What? Sir, I assure you, I was as flustered as you are right now. So I whooped and leapt at him. Detective Goodman pointed the knife at him? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's not correct.
That's the cop code?
That's the cop code? My own father's words, sir. Was your father a cop too? What happened then? Well, my eyes, sir, everything went white. When I awoke, I was here. Right. So, Officer Meekins, why was it that they arrested you? What do you mean, Emma? Let's look at what we know. Now, Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman, and the victim, whom he met at the scene of the crime, didn't show his ID card. In other words, we have no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. And if this body just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died. That's it, sir, That's what I wanted to say. That is, I did say something along those lines. Huh? But you still ended up here? They told me that it had to be him, sir. On that day, at that time, Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. That's what they said. But you don't remember the events clearly? No, but the videotape is quite clear. Huh? Videotape? From the security camera. The crime, my crime, the crime I swore to stamp out. It's there, it's me, it's on tape. And you waited until now to tell us this? I'm sorry, really sorry, sir. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. No, thanks. I have my own. Well, I guess we'd better go check out the crime scene. Okay.
Now you may go.
Are they determining that Detective Goodman was there based on the fact that it was his card that swiped into the evidence room?
And the fact that Meekins saw him.
But, like, we could do that right now, and it would look like Detective Goodman entered the evidence room.
But, like, Meekins says he saw Goodman there.
But Meekins doesn't know who Goodman is.
I mean, he's not super familiar with him, but he claims he saw him there, and he tried to stab him, so...
Hey, Mr. Wright, look who's standing at the Chief of Detectives desk. It's Police Chief Gant. Uh-oh.
And you're sure this is all, You know what it means if there's anything missing. Sir, I'm sure it's likely totally perfect.
Oh.
We checked on all his bags under his seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, and inside his personal coffee machine. I see. Well, if anything does turn up, you call me right away, deal? Yes, sir. We'll scour the place again, sir.
Chief of Detectives looks a little flustered.
Righto, my boy. Have you been swim much?
Oh ho ho, Chief Gant! Reporting for duty, sir. Why are you saluting him, Mr. Wright? What the fuck is this music?
This is his theme.
This sounds like Bowser music. Is Edgeworth going to be okay?
Oh, were they? Oh, you know, they're doing a little inquiry committee with him.
Sounds like an inquisition.
Yeah, well, they've had no end of trouble with the boy since last year.
You mean the incident on Gourd Lake?
It doesn't look good having the top prosecutor said the defendancy, does it? And you got someone else found guilty in that case, righto?
Ugh. I hate that, like, straight on of Von Karma. It's so bad.
It looks so creepy. A legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. But in court you fix it so he was caught for forging evidence.
Well, wait, I didn't do anything wrong. He did forge evidence.
In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of turmoil, you might say. Why, they do just about anything to restore their reputation.
Uh-oh.
Now, depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy.
What?
It's downright odd, I tell you. The detective getting killed on their turf too, I mean.
There being the prosecutors, I assume? Scientifically speaking, it's impossible.
Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says.
What evidence is this?
Now, righto, I can't give away all our secrets just like that. And this in particular, well, it's a little sensitive, and I can't talk about it.
I wasn't expecting much anyway.
You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets, can't stand them. But you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the chief of detectives' trap shut.
Ah, he was the one you were picking on earlier?
Huh? You saw that? Whoops.
I wonder what it was that he wanted the chief of detectives to do. Let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him. Hey man.
Oh, I'm sorry you had to see that.
What exactly did the chief of police want you to do?
Like, I'm gonna do drippy dog for him. Oh, you see over there? That's Goodman's desk. You wanted me to check your friend. You think there might be a clue? I took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can.
So nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here?
Of course not. Well, except for this.
What? You kept something?
Sure, why not? It's not important. Didn't you finish writing it? It's a lost item report. It's only half complete.
A lost item? Did Detective Goodman lose something? The date on it... Oh, the date on it is February 21st. Better make a note of that just in case. I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. That... Okay? That's not a lot of information there, huh? Though I feel it's probably important. Where do I go now?
Talk to him?
Oh. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor.
Well, I never thought the day would come when a writer would ask me for help.
I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Now, righto.
Actually, I'm sorry. I don't need to investigate after all.
Righto, please. Do I look like a selfish man?
Huh?
Heck, if anyone asks me, sir, can I borrow $50? I give them $50, no problem.
I don't believe you.
So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out.
It just goes to show you never know until you ask.
And for you here, you can borrow this.
Huh? Hey, this is a detective's ID card, isn't it?
That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it.
Yes, sir. It's an honor.
You just run along now and do your best. Later, folks.
It's very weird for this sort of man to say later.
Yeah. He tries to be hip with the youths.
Yeah, I guess so. It looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID. You seem happy. Yes, sir, because, sir, we get to go into the investigation room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. Yeah.
Screenshot that. Someone clip that. That's like the evergreen, the evergreen statement.
How do we get there? We go entrance? Then... Oh, wait, no. Guard station. Or...
And then you examine, maybe, and use the ID.
Oh, yeah, use the card. The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Gant. Oh, couldn't we just... Okay. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha! The card reader's turned off, see? What is that security guard thinking?
Howdy, partners. Well, what's made my Bambina's sky so gray?
God. Officer Marshall. Why does it have to be him? Who else would it be?
Phoenix has the same reaction as you. What's that why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon.
We're here to investigate the crime scene.
Yeehaw! That card you got there on your chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts.
Yeehaw!
Well, what are you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. The crime scene's awaiting.
Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions.
Sorry, cowboy, but I ain't got no mind to tangle with you, hombres.
You're busy then?
Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you.
Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. Let's try it. Hello, North.
Hello.
I was wondering if we could talk to you. Yeah. What? Okay, yeah, he's not gonna give us anything, huh?
He's hangry.
Hangry.
What do you have to give to someone hangry?
Oh, yeah, I guess we do have that, don't we?
Yeah.
It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So, this is the evidence room? It really is kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Oh, hey, Dick. What? Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So, is it true what I heard?
No
I
reaction,
can't believe...
just like, yeah, maybe don't do that.
Poor Dick. Yeah, it's true. So, Chief of Police Gant, will loan anyone $50? Even me? Oh, so that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day. But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're a boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you want to have this. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Dick. It's very helpful.
Big L. He just gave you an L.
He just gave me an L. So, Detective Gumshoe, your boss for the day? That's right, it's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. I'm adamant, though. I'm going to take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Haha, of course. I am a detective after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open? Oh. That's what the card is for. I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can get lost. Why, I'm on my third card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint. Oh. Fuck. Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. So, the only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? On the other side of the handles is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, zap, they get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious.
I think the funniest thing about Gumshoe, like, isn't that he's a screw-up, it's that he knows he's a screw-up.
Yeah, he's a self-aware screw-up.
Yeah. Like
there are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
He doesn't have any pretensions. Like, he knows exactly what kind of person he is, and I respect that.
He's very cute. I like him a lot. Even if he is a cop. I think the best kind of cop is a shitty cop, I think. Someone too ineffective to do anything. Detective Goodman's note and that switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection? That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so is that all he has to say about that then? Hey. Oh, it's his crowning achievement. What? He was dancing proudly on the day of the award ceremony, but there were a lot of people coming and going after the ceremony. So they took the Blue Badger away for a while. Really? Why? Oh, they said it was shameful or something like that. Shameful! I toiled night and day. I sympathize with Detective Gumshoe, but I can see why they moved it. Phoenix, be nice!
It's
We
so
love
funny,
the Blue Badger.
In universe, every character but Dick Gumshoe is supposed to think that the Blue Badger is creepy, but they accidentally made it too cute, so everyone out of universe loves it.
Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot too. I bet he doesn't tuck in his shirt under that trench coat either. If you're going to talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. Oh. Why is everybody so mean to him? Hey, look at that. That's suspicious. Well, what's this? Blood. It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. It looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright, what if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should, yeah. I wonder if that's actually blood or if it's paint. There does seem to be a lot of paint in here. That is blood. Okay, cool. I knew it. This is someone's right handprint. What? What's the matter, detective? This locker. It's mine. It's yours. Please. You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify that it wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. Oh, I love him. What? But you're a detective. Dick Gumshoe knows what's up. He knows the score.
He's down bad. Detective down bad.
He's so good. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien. This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you don't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. So that is an amount of blood that would be normal. In, like, you know, in a situation where possibly a victim has blood on their shoe. Is that it? That's probably it, huh? Or maybe, let's try over here. Oh! Hello. Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch the spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What, this? It's called Luminal testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that?
Says
huh?
Cop.
Says a cop? Oh, it's more than $50 from the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I'd better jot this down on the floor plans. What? Okay, Dick's very bad at his job. And I love that about him. Okay, that's gotta be it.
I think that's it, yeah.
Maybe the door? No, that's weird. You would think if they left through there, there'd be blood on the door, right?
Maybe. Depends on,
I guess this does look pretty worn out.
Yeah. It depends on when the blood was still on their hands, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was a bloody violent case. Violent, so it was a murder? A serial killing. A serial killing. Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake, and Mr. Redworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago? That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight and started the rumor mill. Rumors about forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So, that switchblade knife... The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? But... What? Oh, that's what we got already. And we already... Did we know that? I don't think we knew that, actually. Is that it?
Maybe just examine the stuff that you found with Luminal.
But we did.
Isn't there? Is there still a spot there? Isn't there? No, not with Luminal. Just examine like the things that you found.
The things that I found.
Like if you just do examine without the Luminal.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean.
Yeah, without the eye searing filter.
No, that we got this. We could look at. I think we. Oh, I guess we didn't look at the actual like crime scene area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Is it Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. He's a slob, he's a hooligan, bad at his job.
I just like the mental image of Gumshoe saying hooligan.
That's apparently from The Case. The Case? The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces there? Another piece of SL9 evidence. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. You want to try to put it back together? Ha! Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Why, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. Oh my god! DSS shit! I need a jagged, pointy bit. I guess it might be this. Wait, what? What is the... Okay. Wait, oh wait.
You can rotate them as well.
Oh wait, it wants me to what does combine mean?
Like put it on where the red is highlighted. And with
oh, the highlighted red is like the area of the next piece.
Yeah.
What? That's not what?
Try right. Yeah, try that one, but if you once rotating it. Yeah, like that. With the jagged part down.
Jagged like that?
No, sorry, like the like that side down. Now maybe to the right one.
That's obvious. This one's obviously the top.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't think that's it. Maybe like this one looks like it might be it. Oh,
there it is.
There we go. Now, wait, I have to rotate that one.
Yeah.
Wait. It almost looks like the pieces, like the sides change as you rotate them.
Yeah.
Very confusing. Like, what the fuck?
That's probably
it actually
yeah.
changes shape.
I've always been bad at puzzles.
There we go. Then this one?
Nice.
Then that one's easy. No, never mind. Oh. Oh. Never mind. I thought it would be easy without... Oh. That?
No, I think it's the one on the right.
This one?
Yeah, right there maybe? No? Upside down?
No, but that bit there at the top looks like the top.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, there we go.
There it is. It's really weird that it changes shape completely when you rotate it.
They're smart and good at puzzles. Nice.
Now it gets easier. What? Then... Definitely not that one.
Yeah, so it's gotta be this one in some configuration.
Fuck it.
There we
That
go.
did not look like it fit at all, actually. There's a piece missing. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far too in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Did you actually? I don't believe you. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. No, it sure doesn't, huh? I kind of understand how it got broken. There's definitely blood on it, right? Right? You can't spray it, huh?
I don't think so.
Hey, look! They're hard to make out, but there are some dark red stains here. Looks like blood. Do you think Detective Goodman's blood somehow got on this when he was stabbed? Not likely. This blood looks like it's been here for months, maybe longer. This jar was evidence in the SL9 incident. That might be when the blood got on it. Whoa. Huh? This thing doesn't have a bottom. That's weird. I wonder which side is up? Better yet, what's the purpose of a bottomless jar? At least it doesn't collect dust inside, right? Oh, I guess it would be more stable if this was the bottom. Like that? Still ugly as fuck, though.
Yeah, super tacky.
Yeah. Hey, Dick, what's up with this? Oh, nothing. Nothing is up with that. Whoops.
You know, go talk to Jake, I guess. You're out of things to do.
Oh, yeah, because we have the, Salisbury steak.
That smell. Reminds me of Texas.
You have never been to Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas?
No, just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby?
I like the idea, but, like, it's obviously not true. I like the idea of him, like, seeing a special that took place in Texas and just, like, orienting his entire personality around it within 2 days. But, like, obviously that's not the case because we saw that flashback and he was still dressed as, like, a Western boy.
Yeah. It's so funny. He's just a total Westaboo.
Yeah. Yeah, Miss Starr.
What? What's this?
What? What's wrong?
Filet steak lunch. I see. I see.
I don't see. I wonder what it means.
Alright, Bambina. You win. Yes. Anything.
Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. I don't know how much we'll get out of him with a mouthful of steak, but... Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right?
You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it.
Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us.
Ah, that poor little doggy. Poor guy. I keep saying his name wrong and calling him Meekly.
Oh. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station.
Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, it might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know?
I like how he says that as he's taking a swig from his flask. So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place?
Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy.
No, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy.
There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place.
You mean the security camera system?
I don't take to machines much. Kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know?
No, that shit's good, though.
It is. I love broccoli.
Yeah. Miss Starr told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago.
It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in the prairie fire.
You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you?
That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it.
What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened.
There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago.
2 days ago. The day of our case.
That's right. The evidence transferals.
Edgeworth was talking about the transferals too.
I know what maybe the two of machines doing here.
Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen.
Like I said, Bambina, me and machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. That's also
Okay.
good.
No, I'm not super hot on cauliflower, actually.
Cauliflower is so freaking tasty. Like, if you prepare it properly, it tastes exactly like chicken.
I mean, anything tastes good if you prepare it properly, but I have not eaten good cauliflower in my life.
Okay, well, I gotta meet up with you so I can make you some good cauliflower then. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras.
Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned.
If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours.
That sucks, though. And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes?
I reckon they might be.
You're the security guard and you reckon?
One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card.
Thus the card reader by the door.
That card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through.
Oh. There he is. Why is there one that's just 7s that was in at 420? So this is the ID card record. Hey, I've seen that somewhere before.
Sorry, Bambino. I can't show you no more than that.
Huh?
I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet.
Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Yeah, there is a way. See this? This is the victim's ID card.
Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot?
The number on this is 584-2189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Look, the 4th number. It's a perfect match. It was used at 5:14, right before the stabbing.
What's more, there's only one of them cars in the world.
So, when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. But wait, what did Officer Meekins say? Yeah. Why would he have pointed the knife at Officer Meekins? Yeah,
Alright.
why would he...
Alright, compadre, you win.
Why would he not have just showed his fucking ID card?
I guess I can give you this ID card record.
I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. So... the all 7s is interesting. Really easy to remember.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like that might belong to Dick.
Lucky number.
You know what? I'm actually just gonna go show this to Dick real quick. Hey man. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumors. So, whoa! What is it? That second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth. What? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? What? Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? That's... interesting. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room?
Plot thickens.
But, no, all sevens isn't thick. Oh! I know who it is. They literally said that they have trouble remembering all the numbers. Okay. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transferal thing is about?
We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see?
So, what happens to the evidence after 2 years?
It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February.
I see now.
Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated.
It's almost like evidence from the SL9 incident still being out here was done with some kind of intent. And that happened to SL9 2 days ago. Hey, have I shown him the knife yet? Oh, yeah, this is the same thing we got earlier. Okay. Hey, is Gant still here?
No.
No. And... Yeah, because she's not a detective anymore, so she wouldn't have the ID, right?
Yeah. She'd probably be struck from the system.
And Edgeworth is probably still in the inquiry meeting. Yep. Okay. So... Okay. I'm gonna go show that to Dick again. Even though it might not be the most helpful thing.
Maybe you could just talk to him?
Maybe. No. Okay, that's the same. That's the same. Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light above the door is lit. That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker. Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. Why is there paint? What is a saw and paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, true art has always... Oh, he built the blue badger here. True art has always been a war against oppression. True art? I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the blue badger. Well, you might say this is my studio. Here, in the evidence room? That's not a good place for that to occur. Okay. I think we've covered everything. I wonder if that's the fishing rod from the previous case.
It just might be, yeah.
Oh, it's his no, it's his personal. Oh, it's the metal detector too. What's that? Oh, is that like a dowsing rod sort of thing?
I think
Bug
so.
sweeper.
Maybe it'll show up in a future game.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, well... Can we go... Who else do we have to talk to? Skins. Huh. Morphe seems to think there are still some things to examine in the evidence room. I will go... back there. This is such an... I hate the navigation in this game. Very bad.
Yeah, it gets better in later games, fortunately.
But, I mean, I don't want to look at every locker, though.
I can't find it right now, but there was like this really adorable official promotional art of Gumshoe sitting in the evidence room just painting it with like paint all over his coat.
Aww. He's very good. Oh, there's the glove, I guess. Oh! That seems important. Someone left the glove here, but only one. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. We're making Gumshoe out to be a lot of things today, apparently. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean SL9? It does have a tag on it. Hey, pal, look at the time. Was there something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm going to give him my report for the day. It might help, you know. Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I want Detective Gumshoe to be my friend.
Detective Dick Gumshoe is real and he's my friend.
Okay. SL 911, huh?
Never forget.
Never forget. I guess this is another piece of evidence from that case. You know, I never did care for the word tag. It's confusing. Huh? What's so confusing about that? Do you know how many other words sound like it? Bag, gag, nag, lag, zag? Zag? Is that a word? You challenge me? What, are we playing a word game now? Okay, that's supremely unhelpful. Thank you. There's nothing I can really do with this, huh?
Not yet.
It is just a thing that we have. Okay, now we should go talk to Edgeworth.
Edgeworth has two hands, Charles.
Yeah, he does. Oh, what the fuck? Ah, guests, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Oh no, he looks upset.
Right.
Yeah, is the hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry?
I am.
By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you.
Yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems.
Really?
That
Was it
flyer is
helpful?
also foreshadowing for a future game.
Oh.
Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening up near here. I think he was somehow trying to console me.
The real info was on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. So, how did the inquiry committee go?
Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation.
Concealing evidence?
Yes, apparently there's some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again.
Again?
I heard them say that so many times. Ever since that last case 2 years ago.
Are you okay for the trial tomorrow?
Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However,
Something happened?
they gave control of the investigation over to the police department.
The police department?
Yes. Any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police, Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results.
No, Charles, Edgeworth did not used to do that. They are just rumors. I see.
Why, I ask you? Why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still,
Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Except when there was an earthquake and he absolutely lost his shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, right. I like how even Phoenix was like, oh, yeah, I have this.
I constantly say it, but it is impressive how this game somehow manages to make the main characters always on the same page as you.
Yeah, that's great. I'd better check this now.
As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage?
Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less.
Yes, it's true.
Well, why, Mr. Edgeworth?
Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less.
That is incredibly suspicious. The chief of police?
He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office.
Why? But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed.
The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here.
Can I ask what kind of case it was?
I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case.
You say that, but you know, sure could.
Historically, that's not correct.
Now I'm curious about this other case. I'd better make a note of it. Oh look, it is actually relevant to this case. So, I like how the game is really trying to push this idea that it's unrelated. It literally called it unrelated evidence when I got it.
Yeah. It's like, not important, we swear. We swear.
We promise.
Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case.
Let's look at it. Might be useful just to have, anyway. I guess he just made a note of it, he didn't actually take it.
Yeah.
And then how do we explain this? Like, being able to look at it like this?
Maybe you just photographed it on your little flip phone.
But a full 3D photograph?
Yes, it's the future.
With the flip phone.
Yeah. It's a flip
The
phone
tag
future.
says AI 16.
Somnium files.
Yeah, it's Somnium files. What's that got to do with anything? Nothing, apparently. At least that's what Edgeworth said. That makes it seem all the more suspicious. Who knows, this might turn out to be the clue that breaks the case. Wouldn't that be nice? I don't think we have much else to talk to Edgeworth about.
I mean, I guess you could ask him about the evidence from the stabbing.
I guess so.
I know you. You've probably looked to hold us some information already, right?
It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in.
You are the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later.
Oh, it's a very good thing I showed him this then. You must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. Oh.
The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time. Damon Gaunt.
That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too, then.
He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous.
Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a deputy chief of police on the investigation?
In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed.
Wait, you didn't?
Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something.
My sister? What?
He was still studying forensic science.
Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today Mr. Wright and I were using this.
Luminal testing fluid, hmm? Well then, you might have use for this.
What the fuck? Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints.
Chemically treated for better adhesion.
For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know.
I have no say in today's investigation. Do as you will.
Edgeworth, I'm really...
Gay.
Gay, homosexual, gay.
No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved.
Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well?
He trusts his boyfriend more.
How about you actually tell Detective Gumshoe what these things do? That would probably be very helpful. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Several. Whose handprint are those? I just want to go everywhere from anywhere. Come on, guys.
Eventually. You're 4 games away.
Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here, in this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon. Let's use the secret weapon we just bore out. Secret weapon being a fingerprinting thing. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. Let's choose the finger that will leave behind the clearest print. The index finger, probably. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With enter.
On the DS, you would touch where you want to apply it and then blow into the microphone to clear it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. With it, I don't know what button that is on my controller.
Wait, why? I think it's the percent button.
Okay. Yeah? Oh? Oh, shit. Whoops. Oh, it is Y. Okay. Why did that not work?
I think you have to have like, code it, like, get the entire finger. And then hold it to blow it away?
Oh! That was a lot bigger than I expected, actually.
Yeah.
Aha, you did it! You found one! But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Looking at the locker door again closely. Oh! It seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Yeah, right here. Right here. Right here.
We do it.
That's interesting. I wish I really want to just be able to hold A.
doesn't have the authentic experience of dabbing it.
Guess so. Oh, a fingy print.
Fingy pint.
Wait, is that not enough?
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do a little bit more than you think you have to.
Gotta get the whole thing.
Yeah.
There we go. Yay, a print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth. And point out the person you think left these prints. Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So, whose fingerprints would we most likely find on this evidence locker? Oh. That would be the one. Because it's his locker.
Yeah.
Aha! So, these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking so what. Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Why would that one not be a... Why would that one not also be a glove print, though? Yeah. What? Yeah. Oh. Wait, what?
We just gotta try testing for where would there be prints that weren't wiped away?
Where would there be prints that weren't wiped away? Like here, where there wasn't blood. Right? That makes sense to me. Gotta be a little bit extra. Hey, really? Fuck you.
Not extra enough.
No. No. Definitely not. Oh. Hello. That is an exact match. So, why was he... Hey, these fingerprints, Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? That's got to be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma, this is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction, the blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh! So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped bloodstain. But why would Officer Marshall... It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. That's the first time we have ever had decisive evidence, I think. I don't believe it. Oh, it's break time. That's a good twist.
Yeah.
So are all these mechanics ones that appear in later Ace Attorney games then?
For the most part, yeah. Like examining evidence is in every game from Apollo Justice onwards.
Yeah, because I imagine they wouldn't be in the GBA games.
Yeah.
But Apollo Justice was DS, right?
Yeah, it was the first game made from the ground up for DS, which is why all the sprites in that game look as beautiful as the ones in this case. And
Yeah.
you got like the evidence investigation and like fingerprints and luminol and whatever. And then they appear in the next two in limited capacity, but not as much because they both focus on different gimmicks.
Yeah, that's fair. It adds a lot to like the investigation process. It adds more like game to it.
Less visual novel.
Less visual novel, a little bit more game there. All right, I'll be back. I will leave you guys with some tunes.
See you in a minute, everyone.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Let's do it. Let's do the trial.
Solve some crimes.
Solve a crime. 2 crime. Maybe 3. Who knows?
Possibly more. Imagine.
Possibly more. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all... Oh. That's you.
Oh. The victim was murdered in 2 places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes.
Lana!
Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed.
I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning.
We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though.
Fuck, that's a long time.
Friggin' cops.
Cops! So, how'd it go?
It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain.
A plea bargain? What do you mean by that?
We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma.
But Lana, don't tell me you...
Much to my regret. I'm as much in the dark about it as they are.
Miss Sky, we found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall.
What kind of trace evidence?
Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky?
Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright.
The courtroom is starting to feel very comfy and familiar.
I know. I love how, like, even the 3D games still make it, like, super familiar and cozy.
Yeah, it's nice and comfy. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is...
I'm afraid you'll have to clarify.
It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office.
Oh, are you starting already?
Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time.
But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial.
One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself.
Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand.
For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department.
The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Oh god, I'm going to have to do a nasal voice a lot for a bit, aren't I?
Will the witness please state his name and occupation?
Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekin, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Well, yes, actually. Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir.
Officer Meekins,
Yes, sir.
give us a report of the crime. Consider that an order.
Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. Ugh. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. That's true. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted the suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you.
Do unto to others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. Oh, God, that's your family motto?
I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
What I need here is more info to work with. Who slapped him awake?
The random officer.
Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not?
Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir.
Yikes, now that's a scary thought.
Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. That's a very important job, Meekins. I'm very proud of you.
Given a big boy task.
I see. Sounds like a very, important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room.
Tell us, what did you see when you got there?
In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct?
Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. Yep, you sure do.
He's even floating in the picture.
So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right?
Oh, is he the all sevens? There it is, I found it. This is the one right here.
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir.
I see. Huh? But the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice.
Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during that second time when...
Yes, sir, that was when I spotted the man on the security screen.
So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir, a knife!
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then?
Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was.
You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into.
That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. Oh, so it wasn't the cactus.
That's such a friggin' hilarious image to me. He just barges in and just immediately starts screaming, flapping his arms.
Swinging his arms. What a doofus. I love him. If he's not a murderer, he might be a murderer. I fought for my life, then I did it. Oh, I should press that. Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
What exactly do you mean when you say you did it?
I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife.
I spun him around and performed the disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
I see. He must have been desperate.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew...
Yes?
He punched me right in my face, sir.
Oh no. about what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious.
Oh, right.
According to the report of the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. It's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned to the entrance before things got out of hand.
Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the Menace officer murdered really the victim?
He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins?
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. That is weird.
Chief?
Delivered it? What is that? A videotape?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from a security camera in the evidence room.
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me.
A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into?
Snuff film time.
Yay!
How exciting. Oh my god.
Yay!
I like this one. This is a good tape. Oh, look at that. I gotta say, this is actually somewhat... Oh, of course. Of course. Face completely blocked out. This, you know what? I will say, this looks really good for, like, having originally been on the DS.
It does, yeah.
Whoa, hey, man.
That's not the Switchblade, is it? Interesting. That looks like Edgeworth's knife. Where'd he go? Wait. Huh? Huh? Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? So... he didn't leave. He didn't leave. Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room.
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incompetent footage, or incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins?
Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. Yes. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
That is probably true. What's this about a fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the scene of the crime would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Okay. No one else could have unlocked it, which is... Oh, God. If I want to re-examine this, I have to sit through the whole thing?
Well, later on, you get tools to fast forward it and whatever.
Okay. Is he wearing... No. Not wearing gloves. It doesn't appear. But that glove did then fall out of the locker. Oh, wait! I just noticed something.
What'd you notice?
The locker that had the piece of cloth hanging out of it doesn't have anything hanging out of it until it pans back across this time. Yeah. That's interesting.
Pretty suspicion.
Pretty suspicion. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? So, sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter. The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you were the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I'll put my badge on it. Maybe don't do that. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Well, why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or...
Meekins.
Ah!
Having been shown a questionable video at best, we're not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir.
You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Detective Goodman. Tell us why you were positive it was him.
About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir, and this too. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. Okay. Okay. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprints. That is definite, confirmed, accurate, yes.
Maybe. Probably just taking a drink of water.
Oh, it's okay. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you were the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is. Unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Yeah, I think
Well,
you nailed it before.
the locker?
Yeah.
But also, like... Oh, no, yeah, that tracks. If it was Bruce Goodman's ID, then Meekins won it immediately after. That is accurate. Yes. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction.
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth.
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video.
You would want me to point it out. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the Why did that immediately skip
That was weird,
his
yeah.
text? That was weird. I didn't press a button there. This is not a very fast forward, is it? I'd love to see Meekins get attacked. Beep. Beep. This. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean?
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright. You seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise.
The point?
What you were looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates that the man may not be Detective Goodman.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Was that not it?
Oh, right, there's one more thing we have to do first. You're a little bit ahead of,
I'm a little bit ahead of it.
Yeah. There is one thing that you didn't notice that you have to do first, though.
Okay.
So think of what we know. So you know that only Detective Goodman can open his own locker, right?
Yeah.
When the locker opens up, it lights up.
It was already open.
It's lit, fam.
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, why is it still playing the music?
This is good.
As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Yeah. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. There's so, like, all this noise about the Blue Badger now. Love that I just have to sit through this. Are they intentionally trying to get the song stuck in my head or something?
Yes.
When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. God. So I understand this for the sake of Phoenix explaining, but clearly the player already knows. So why do I have to sit through all this?
You have no idea. Get ready. In Apollo Justice, Case 3 of Apollo Justice is, in my opinion, the worst case in the entire series. And part of that is because there's something similar to this, but with no fast forward and it makes you watch it like 10 times over the course of the
Uh,
case. It's the worst. I hate it so much.
Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. It's lit.
It's lit, fam. Air
Precisely
horn.
my point, Your Honor. Air horns. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Why does it make a chicken sound?
It's his radio squawking.
Oh, I see. Order, order. What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
But the locker's locks are still controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh, well. It just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. Aw, poor Judge.
He's like, yeah, I'll take this L.
I'll take this out. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor. Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Charles, what are you sending me? Are you sending me something on Discord? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor? Something jammed the sensor. Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. I was, in fact, I think 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Very well, let's inspect the video once more.
This one, I recall, is also, like, very tricky, so just, like... Do you want me to just, like, tell you, because you don't have to watch it, like, a million times?
Well, there's the glove.
Yeah, there you go.
I got that one. Please watch closely.
It took me so many times while watching that, because I didn't I didn't realize that they were implying that the glove blocked the sensor.
Look, it's rubber, so I guess that... Wait, would that make sense? Sure. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. God. Uh-huh. Now the audio's just totally gone. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great disturbances. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted. Don't... This is actually really annoying. Especially with no audio at all happening now.
Yeah, they should really just show, like, the frame that's relevant instead of replaying the full thing. Just because they really want to show off the 3D tech.
I guess so. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door... But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents.
Oh, well, then it being rubber is actually very important.
It would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. But, sir, by insulator, you don't mean... Yeah. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? Hey, I have a glove. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. Yes, we can. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir. Order! 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 So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated the possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman.
Do you plan to prove that, Edgeworth?
Prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. But if he had his card, he would have shown it to you instead of pulling a knife on you. An ID card record. I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Sorry, you keep catching me like right when I go to take a drink of water. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases.
Special cases?
Extremely violent cases involving the police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference.
There are only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Oh, because his hair is spiky.
Yeah.
Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. Okay. But we have the ID card.
So that would probably contradict that then, right?
That would probably contradict that. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir.
Me too.
Me too. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report. It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. He may have lost his card. Something important enough to fill out this report. Maybe it's half finished because he couldn't remember his ID number.
That's probably it, yeah. He didn't even get the second number right.
Yeah, he didn't. Fucking got it.
Let me guess. You believe there's something to be his ID card, correct?
I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order! Order! So now, what does all this mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright.
But bravo.
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime...
We just walked into a trap, didn't we?
The man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
And the ID card was found in the prosecution's office underground parking lot where Lana Skye was seen possibly murdering him. Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video was a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also a fake.
Oh. I suppose? No, that doesn't make sense.
In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
Oh, no, that's true. That seems true. That seems right. I can agree with that. That is, well, I guess that's right.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around.
No, not really. We were just trying to disprove that that was Bruce Goodman. That's all we were trying to do. This isn't going to end well.
Because Edward doesn't freaking care about this. His one job here is to prove that Lana Skye murdered Bruce Goodman.
Yeah, I guess so.
So this is just a very circuitous way of proving that she really did do it in the parking lot and not in the evidence room.
Yeah, so he's trying to prove that this is like irrelevant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
So, is the implication that okay? So they think the implication is that this might be Lana Skye.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department on 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So
the real crime can only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment of the defendant use the murder weapon.
But the switchblade was there, in the muffler of the car. And that switchblade can only have come from Bruce Goodman's locker. But there is the question of when it could have gotten there. Because I'm still convinced that the first one there is Gant. Because he specifically said in the first day of the trial that he can never remember the ID numbers. So I feel like you would make his something really easy to remember. So Gant could have taken the switchblade from... No, but how would he have opened it? Oh yeah, and we can place Gant in that room. Because that's why Miles went there.
No,
Gant called him there.
He was called there, but he doesn't necessarily mean he was in the room. He asked Edward to go get something for him.
That's true. And I don't know how Gant would have opened up the locker if it does need a fingerprint. Because I guess he is chief of police. No, he's chief of detectives.
She's chief of police. The chief of detectives is under him. Yeah.
So maybe he would have the authorization to open all of the lockers.
I don't know.
I'm just putting pieces together right now. I'm trying to.
Yeah, there's an awfully big puzzle out there.
Yeah, it's a big puzzle. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to determine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something else, Lana. What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? One moment, Your Honor.
What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven.
Yes, actually. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap.
What are you talking about?
This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Please. 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 But it also doesn't show where the person went, is like the thing, though. Could they have used the Blue Badger to, like, sneak by the camera?
Possible, yeah.
However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination and into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident in the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident.
This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Oh my god, is Phoenix actually going to call someone to the stand for the first fucking time ever? Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
Prosecution requests to hear this person's name. Before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name? What is their name? Come on, Judge.
Oh, at the time, it's 2016.
Officer Jake Marshall.
Why him?
I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say.
Prosecution agrees to the defense's request. As he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess. Ooh. What's the date today?
The
25th today, right? God damn it, it's so close to being, like, perfect.
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out.
I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything.
Emma.
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. You definitely 100% are, dude. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty, and on top of it, And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, detective.
Did we call him here? You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
Oh. You mean this, right?
My apologies, detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name? Never in a million years would I thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? Oh shit. I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. This guy was a witness? Hold on. Let's... Joe Dark.
Yep.
That's a crime name if I've ever heard one.
Criminal McBadman.
Serial murder, sentence death. Victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Huh. Wait. There's a name there that I didn't expect to see.
Probably, yeah.
Emma was a witness? What?
Look at the next page as well. Everyone's here. All the warriors.
All the warriors. Huh. Neil Marshall, though. That's... Jake's dad, maybe? Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Oh, I get it's fun that... Again, another matter of characters being on the same page as the player.
Yeah.
Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that...
That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
The Joe Dark... No, Lana. That's over with. No. Did she just... Emma, wait. She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Whoops, this got a little bit awkward. Time for me to skedaddle. Hold on. I want to look at some of the other names in here. Hold on. Oh, that's right at the end, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so... As it stands... I have... no reason to suspect... or reason to, like, have any idea what Emma might have had to do with this.
Not yet.
Not yet. Because, like, none of the names, like, there's no other Sky here. No. Okay. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gantz, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence.
Knowing you might just be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck.
I'd better take a good look at this file. I did. Oh! That was pretty short. Well, we'll take another break. Just... because this is the only chance I will have for a break until the end of the stream, I think. Alright, I will be back.
See y'all in a bit.
じゃ餌付けはできないぜ傷ついて傷ついて全て失っちまっても染まっちゃならねえそれこそが Justice Justice for breaking the law breaking the world
Hey, I'm back.
Welcome
carry
back.
on. Let's do it. Let's trial. Oh my God! They are actually breaking these trials into like 2 halves.
Yeah.
Wow. These are long. I think that's the first time I've seen trial form or trial ladder. I probably would have seen it with the previous day too.
Yeah.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back.
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Hey.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Wow, he's just going at it, huh?
Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping out the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. Come on, dude.
As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear on the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
Desperado's soul is boundless as the desert stands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. The judge is immediately like, oh, okay, I've had enough of this guy.
Yeah, I love how passive-aggressive he can get sometimes.
Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They say I'm supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
Well, what a slacker. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. It's great that the judge just, like, reflects my attitude toward this man. Hey. We could press him on everything, but, like... let's not do that, because that's just more dialogue for him.
You're like, I'm sick of this guy already.
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you
Always
as
send you
odd?
clip where you're tearing down the portrait. You know what?
I've had enough of this guy. That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or, to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds, about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints?
Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint.
Ah.
The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
They weren't.
See? I had nothing to do with it.
They weren't, though. They were not, in fact, wearing gloves. Also, how would you know that? How would you know that?
He is in the police, I guess. Like,
I guess.
if it was anyone else, then yeah, that'd be a huge gotcha, but like, he has reason to know that.
The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Yeah, I mean, you can see in the video that he's not wearing gloves, though. What? Fuck off.
Because Bruce Goodman was the victim, quote-unquote, not the murderer.
Oh, yeah, right. Huh. Okay. Well,
Can't find a contradiction and just get to pressing.
I guess so. Do we know whose locker that is?
I don't think we know 100%.
So the locker that's highlighted on the right is Gumshoe's.
Yeah.
The one with the blood pool in front of it is
Goodman's.
But we don't know whose that is.
Yeah.
That seems important. It seems important that we eventually find out whose that is. Oh, yeah. But also, I guess he could have Bruce's ID card. Okay. Well, I guess I'm just gonna get to pressing.
Yep.
That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
Well, okay, there we go. What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently, his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. You must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Yeah. What? Oh, on Marshall, the update there is on his own locker. So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Wasn't mine. It's no mystery.
Please explain.
My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened.
The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why?
Unrelated.
There is difference night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, the other's type of murder.
Well, cereal is a word that's used in places other than murder, but sure. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood. In the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
Security tape.
So long as my trail ain't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Oh, he added that.
Yeah, and you can just press that too.
Yes. I can do that. What do you mean by that?
You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots. Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
You don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Now is the time for that, isn't it?
Yeah, now it's caught up.
Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Why does it do that? It just completely skips his line whenever we have to look at the video. Now the music's back too. That's nice. Poor Meekins. This is like the 6th time we've had to see him get attacked.
Gotten owned so many times.
Bop. Check this shit out. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
Days are short in Texas. So are our cameras. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out, that was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, poor Meekins. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Yeah, but... okay. Order! Order! It would seem that's the only...
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That don't mean I'm the one who opened it.
Even that George's like,
The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
I like how I don't even have to point this out. Everyone's just like, nah, dude. This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say open that locker? Now prove it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is that?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. Yeah, I know. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? That jerky?
Yep. I only got 1 word for you, partner.
Fuck.
No.
Basically. Order! Witness, explain yourself!
I love that animation so much. Like, it looks like he clutches his heart like it's taking a bullet. This is a joke. It's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Ole! Please answer the question. Oh, Judge, please don't do that. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right. The only possible conclusion. Yeah, this judge is dumb. He's very dumb. So, victim is right. Because personally, I consider Meekins to be the victim here. Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman.
That's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
He didn't look at his face. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Yeah. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
Got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence. He's still denying it.
We're gonna have to do better than that, correct, detective? Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
We don't have that, as far as I know. So, is the coat she has here Bruce's coat?
No, that's her own.
That's her own? Huh. But in the video that I'm not going to look at again because that would take too much time, there's blood on the coat in the same place that it is here.
Hmm.
When Meekins gets cut and bleeds on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think we have any proof that he actually dressed up as Goodman. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
I think at this point, that now that it's the second time you've brought it up, I think you're complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
Ugh, it can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Edgeworth? Edgeworth?
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you as someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me.
Phoenix, try thinking outside the box.
Think crazy! I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
How do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to be indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. We're gonna have to look at the video again?
Yep.
Fuck. So, I mean, yeah, so it's because the blood is on the coat.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see Meekins get owned again! This poor boy. Or if he said that, like, picturing Meekins in the crowd getting weaker and weaker as he relives that moment. That's very sad. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet.
Yet.
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner.
With quotes this time. How odd. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth.
Huh?
2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
Alright. Seems the time has come.
Alright.
I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
But, okay, okay. Jake had Goodman's ID card. We found the ID card in the prosecutor's office underground parking lot. So that places him there, right?
Yep.
And the knife. The knife is the same knife. Or, yes, it looks
That
like the
hasn't
same
been
knife.
confirmed.
It's hard to tell with the video because it's in black and white again. So the supposed victim was really you.
But here's the one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
Why didn't they test the blood? It was way too much blood for such a small donation.
I don't think you can test blood traces, right? Like, you can just test liquid if you have it.
Well, yeah, but does that imply that Jake might have washed the blood away then? Because, like, the officers would have come to the scene and seen all that blood, right? So then they would have had all that blood, and then they would have cataloged that in evidence, and then they could have tested that against Meekins. Or, I guess, yeah. Because he's the suspect in that case. Then again, I guess they don't really have any intent to actually care about that.
Especially since Meekins confessed.
Yeah.
They were probably just like, alright, well, I guess that's that.
Yeah. When you say it, you mean
Do you even have to ask, partner?
the SL9 incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. I was going to completely end with that transferal today. Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
What is their big issue with this case, though? But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only the case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
It's personal, then. Because either his father or brother or somebody was killed by the killer. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
That day was my last chance. That's why
It's interesting that Phoenix didn't notice that. But I guess the more noticeable thing in that case file are the other names associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So he did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card.
I sold that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card.
Oh,
I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
did you do that while you were there when we met up with you?
Probably, yeah.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite the lack of foresight. What do you mean? partner. I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself.
Oh yeah. But he could because the rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. What does that mean? I feel like the person that put the glove in there has to be the person that first logged into the ID card reader. There's no other... It could have been Meekins, I guess. But no. Meekins is a good boy, although dumb. Who is that? Gotta be Gant. Gotta be Gant. You pulled the knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only plan on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type person. Yeah, you could definitely say that. Is thanking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
Yay! When did Edgeworth get so much influence?
Anyway, he threw himself at me, and I ended up cutting him slightly.
Slightly.
I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out, and... that... Fuck. Oh, I can't fast forward this!
Nope.
It's only in when I'm actually presenting evidence that I can fast forward and pause it.
Yeah, but if it makes you feel any better, you won't have to look at it again.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at it just to see, like, the knife again. I mean, I guess they probably don't, Morphe, they probably don't expect you to look at it as often as I've looked at it. It's hard. It's really hard to tell. No, that has a cross guard, or like that is a guard. Which that.
Alright, I'll say it's probably just an animation error. It is intended to be the same knife that they use to shave with.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't want you to like
Okay.
get down the wrong path too much, and there is a little bit of a cross guard on it. It's just not very visible because he covers the entire angle with his hand.
I guess so. So you did your research beforehand?
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think I would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you blooded your coat in the struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is on that day, this is probably, wait, but the, okay, wait, hold on. But the opening cutscene clearly showed 2 murders. But I suppose one of them could be a murder that happened earlier or something. But no. Oh well. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
Where are you, blind? Wow, that's ableist.
Yeah, that is.
The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't.
What?
Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Fuck yeah, Phoenix. Comrade Phoenix.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. That case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is that he deserved his sentence. Wow, a bit harsh.
Wow. Okay, Edgeworth, chill. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murderers, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain on how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down on that trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You'll see.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I'd better take another look at the files. Yep, it's that name, isn't it? Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the SL9 incident file here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall, are you related to this man? I do appreciate that they weren't like, hey, point to what the thing you think is. It's just like, yeah, you probably noticed that. You don't need to point at it.
Yeah. Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you heard the name. 2 years ago,
Oh,
he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
was it broken then? What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
Wait, hold on. I almost wanna... Could we like see the names on here?
No, unfortunately.
Fuck. Because that would have been a really good, like, incredibly early hint that you would completely overlook and, like, forget about.
Yeah. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother.
Ah, brother.
He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, then the then deputy chief of police.
Oh. That's the guy in the bottom left.
Yeah. The group of detectives I was a part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer,
Oh.
Joe Dark.
Evil McMurder Man.
My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed.
So that switchblade is his, I assume.
At least, according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions. There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day of the SL9 incident case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day.
Which is not entirely helpful in the case of Lana Skye, unfortunately.
Things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder of the prosecutor's office. This fake murder was going on at the police department.
Chance? It's got to be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
But wait! The verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But...
There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
Oh, fuck.
Seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries of the police department have been resolved. No doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable.
But we totally contested it yesterday.
If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
Okay. That's not a good word, Phoenix. One word you should have used was objection.
I rest my case. Also, thank you, original good boy. We're beautiful.
We are beautiful. It is true. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize... that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendants... Oh, Emma... Your Honor, wait! Emma? The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Oh, that's very generous of you.
He's a cool guy.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. I was actually just kind of thinking about how Emma was suspiciously quiet throughout this entire trial, but then I was like, oh yeah, she left.
Yeah.
Right.
Just skedaddle.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Skye sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprints had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found in Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured out if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. What? Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have left. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark.
That would obviously be left by Jake, though.
Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use, but still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I need to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Okay, let's look. I'm gonna look at it. Do we have it in the evidence? Oh.
I think so.
Okay, that's a bad... Okay, so... He's not wearing gloves in the video.
No.
So...
And there's left a bloody handprint behind as well. That's what we were able to identify. So he definitely wasn't wearing gloves.
So he definitely was... But the thing with this one is that my assumption would be that the counter argument would be that he would also stash the gloves. Oh, but then he wouldn't have blood in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't wearing gloves. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, gotta be something I can use. Which item can prove something is missing in the floor? What? Oh! The blue badger is missing. The blue badger was blocking that locker.
As they say in back west, even a blind man can hit with buckshot. That is, so long as he's facing the general direction. It seems Mr. Wright's not sure which direction to face.
Wait, is that not it? Should I...
What did you try to present?
I did the video.
Oh,
Should I present the blue badger then?
or the floor plans, maybe.
But we're trying to disprove the floor plans.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. What about that piece of plywood?
The blue badger, mascot of the police force. That's why he was in our evidence, isn't it? Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger is not here.
So
watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? Thank you, Edgeworth. That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
What?
So that means, just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badge to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean that this blood mark was left there before the blue badge was brought in? Or after? Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. Oh, shit.
Yeah. But how?
One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time. Oh, so they were actually blood traces, like... Oh. It was washed away. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown in this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred.
When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? Probably the evidence that I've looked at the most in this trial. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh! The ID card record! What, did the murder occur at 4:20?
Blaze it.
It is late! Officer Meekins brought the blue badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:50 p.m. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the Luminal test the blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away. By the real murderer.
I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777.
Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with... Yeah, I'm not gonna... Whatever, man. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777-77777. That's...
17 too many, Your Honor.
I almost stole your line.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present.
What?
Explain yourself, son. The ID number 77777 belongs to someone the rank of captain or higher.
Aha!
Someone who is a so-called executive officer.
Someone who maybe has a difficulty remembering long strings of numbers.
We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
That's ridiculous. Just how...
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge?
You're all act, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes. No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive.
Lana? Oh, shit.
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we looked up her ID number. And it's not 77777.
I guess that would be the other explanation for who it could be.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I wanted to ask.
Wait, what?
All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
The SL9 incident.
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
Oh, okay. That's how they get around that then. How the fuck can she like answer that from a location that is not a pre-rendered background?
Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Miles Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for the trial. At that time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Lana?
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress the crime with the law. Before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor.
They're in the same place.
During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is on this bitch of an earth. We did what we had to, in order to get the verdict he deserved.
But Lana!
Even if it involves forging evidence.
Oh, this is dramatic.
See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No!
Order! 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 Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the... Whoa. Is that just... Oh, that's just... Oh, fuck. I shouldn't have... Fuck. I guess they, called recess for the day.
Yeah. Is the
Cool.
chief prosecutor being like, yeah, we totally cheated a bunch.
That sucks. Well, I think that is the end of the stream for the day.
What a cliffhanger.
That was the second day of investigation and trial. That was fucking good though. That shit was good.
We're only getting started.
It's this case is really satisfying to like put all the pieces together and figure shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, hey. Thank you, Mina, for joining me today.
It was my honor.
It is always an honor to have you here. It is very fun every time.
Yeah, I love it.
tomorrow we're going to continue Darkest Dungeon. Maybe play a few rounds of Debbie. I might save Debbie for Saturday though, because I'm gonna do some labbing on Saturday. It'll be fun. Anyway, I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night. And as always, good sleep.